Yankees in town, so it is a sellout. Joe Girardi leading the New York Yankees, and here's the lineup. Brett Gardner in left, Jason Nix at short. Kevin Youkilis will play third base. Juan Rivera will be in first. The catcher is Franco Cervelli. Matt Dias is the designated hitter. Melky Mesa in center, and Thomas Nealon right, and Jose Pirela will be playing second, and they'll be facing J.A. Happ.
A little bit different lineup than what we're used to with the New York Yankees, and we can get into that as this game goes along with all the injuries and the problems that they've had this spring.
First pitch from Happ, this game underway. A bunt from Gardner very quickly off the mound is the big 6'6" Happ, and he makes the play.
He got out there pretty quick, didn't he? J. Happ will make his third start of the spring, his fourth appearance. There are his numbers from last year, 10-11 with a 479 earned run average. His last appearance was March the 5th at Baltimore when he stretched out to 3 innings. Now, this is the time in the schedule where pitchers really start to stretch it out. He's scheduled to go 4 innings this afternoon. He's going to use all of his pitches, his fastball, slider, and he's been working on a new grip on his split finger fastball.
Jason Nix, the batter. He's hitting .261 this spring, 6 hits and 23 trips to the plate. .243 last year with the Pinstripers. Therefore, a strike, pounding in at 89 miles an hour.
That's a good sign right there from J. Happ, where he stands tall out there. He's 6'6", and he comes right over the top, and you really want to generate that downward movement with his fastball. He did on that last pitch to Jason Nix.
That one down in the dirt. And you were talking that they're trying to get 4 innings for J.A. Happ. Is this something that a pitcher really wants to? Now he gets more. This is more game-like.
Yes, it is. This is the time in the spring where there's 3 weeks left where they really start to step on the gas pedal just a little bit more as a pitcher.
Sharply hit foul down the third baseline.
You might go out there the first couple of times and work on a curveball, or you might work on a different grip on your slider, or you might not feel the arm strength that you need with your fastball. But now they've been down here about 3 or 4 weeks. Pete Walker telling me today that the pitchers will start to use everything they have with a little bit more on it the rest of the way in spring training.
And this week marks the 1 month for pitchers and catchers reporting to Dunedin. Fly ball in the center field, the wind blowing in, but charging in on it, no problem at all. Melky Cabrera.
Let's take a look at the rest of the defense that John Gibbons sends out there. Blue Jays 9th in the American League last year in fielding percentage, having trouble catching it in the spring. In left field will be Davis, Cabrera, and Bautista in right field. Around the infield, Mark DeRosa, Mike McCoy, Emilio Bonifacio, and Adam Lind at first. The battery is Happ and Josh Tolley.
Kevin Youkilis playing third, looking for his first hit of the spring. He's 0 for 9. And yes, that is the wind whipping through the microphones. The wind blowing in. 1 week ago, it was blowing out about the same speed. It's going to be tough to try to get anything to leave the ballpark today. Well, this one, fly ball right field. Bautista goes back, and it's off the wall. Making the turn, Youkilis. The slide in, he's in with a double. No sooner said than Youkilis almost tried to clear the fence.
I think he was listening to you. Last week, if he hit that ball 1 week ago, that is a home run. The wind definitely knocked that one down and got in on Youkilis a little bit, and he inside outs it, muscles it to right field. Bautista thinks he has a beat on it. The wind just blows it, knocks it straight down for extra bases. Kevin Youkilis' first hit of the season. 0 for 9 before that.
Juan Rivera, first baseman. Rivera hitting .273, runner in scoring position. An off-speed pitch, nicely done by Happ. Well, he is mixing it up.
Yeah, using his curveball a little bit more, slider, changeup. Use that fastball early at camp. You really want to establish fastball command.
This one hit well left field, base hit. Getting the stop sign at third is Youkilis as the throw came in very neatly from Rajai Davis in left.
Blue Jays worked on cutoffs and relays this morning before batting practice. That play right there. Man on second base, base hit into left field. Ideally, you want to hit the cutoff man, but with 2 outs, any chance of them sending that runner, you got to go ahead and try and throw him out. Throws it all the way in. Rivera's not going to go to second base on that one.
Rivera at first, Youkilis at third. Francisco Cervelli, the catcher. Hitting .235 for the spring. Driven in 1 run. Has a man 90 feet away. Broken bat, ground ball. Up with it quickly as McCoy makes the play to first, and that will leave 2 aboard. Top of the first complete. Blue Jays coming to the plate.
Take it from here.
Stay with me.
Stay with me.
Stay with me.
And then stay with me for free.
Now stay 3 separate times and earn a free night.
Thank you, Canada. For almost 50 years, we've served our premium.
Blue Jays this spring, 7 wins, 7 losses, 1 tie, coming off a victory yesterday. And here's what John Gibbons has written down on the lineup card. Rajai Davis will lead off in left, followed by Emilio Bonifacio at second. Colby Erasmus, the designated hitter this afternoon. Bautista, Cabrera, and Lynn, the middle third of the order. In right, center, and at first, Mark DeRosa is handling things at third. Josh Tolley's behind the plate. And Mike McCoy is the shortstop facing David Phelps.
David Phelps will take the mound for the New York Yankees for his 4th start of the spring. In his 2nd against the Blue Jays. They saw him earlier this month back in Tampa Bay. There are his numbers last year in 33 games, pitching out of the bullpen. A couple of starts for the Yankees last year. 4-4 with a very good ERA at 3.35. He is in the mix for that 5th starter for the New York Yankees. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Very strong, very durable arm.
His last outing was Tuesday against Atlanta. Gave up 2 hits, 1 run, and 4 innings of work. So he's starting to get his innings and pitch count up. And to begin, Rajai Davis, who's hitting .238 for the spring, driven in 4 runs for the Blue Jays. Jay sends it high and foul down the right field side.
You know, the first thing you see with the Blue Jays this year as opposed to last year, they have so many options offensively. No Jose Reyes because he is at the WBC, so you flip in Rajai Davis, a very good leadoff hitter with a lot of speed. They also have those switch hitters that they can go to. Emilio Bonifacio can lead off if you need to. So a lot of options for John Gibbons this year.
And a lot of opportunity to get men on base who can do something when they're on the base path.
Yeah, they can run. They've got a great, I'll call it elite team speed this year for the Blue Jays. Speed. You can steal bases. You can go first to third.
Fly ball, left center field. Gardner coming in on it and will make the out. Brett Gardner, they're hoping for big things from him in 2013.
Second baseman, number 1.
Gardner is playing left field this afternoon. There was talk of him moving to center field, and then Curtis Granderson got hurt, ironically, and Jay Happ hit him this afternoon's starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. Surprised to see Gardner in left field.
Emilio Bonifacio looks at a strike. That clicking in at 88 miles an hour. Hit 258 with the Marlins last year. Drove in 11. That pitch low.
David Phelps has a good arm. He can hit both sides of the plate with his fastball. The Yankees think they have something in him.
This one into the gap. Dropping. No, coming in to make the play was Mesa. Looked like that was going to drop in. Mesa had time with the wind blowing in, kept it up in the air.
A lot of speed in the outfield this afternoon for the Yankees. Gardner, Mesa, and Thomas Neal, non-roster player in right field. Euclid, Nix, Perella, Rivera will form the infield. Savelli and Phelps, the catcher and the pitcher, and that is Kevin Euclid with A-Rod out, possibly till the All-Star break. Euclid becomes a very important signing for the Yankees, and he'll play third base this afternoon.
Colby Rasmus looks at the first pitch from Phelps, sends it away. Phelps was used in a number of different roles last year for the Yankees, as Rasmus hit 223 with the Blue Jays, drove in 75 runs, 23 homers. Inside, he appeared in 33 games, had 11 starts.
Had one of those starts against the Blue Jays in Yankee Stadium. Second game of a doubleheader. Nothing really fancy. Doesn't really wow you with the radar gun, but he pitches. He's got all the pitches, and he can move the ball around the plate, making it tough for the hitter to guess.
You know, we've seen him at 88, 89 miles an hour. 2-1 pitch to Rasmus. Holds up on it. No, that one off speed. Colby with just one hit this spring, 1 for 7. That was a home run. And there's a strike.
Working on a little bit different stance since he has come back from that shoulder injury. Hands are not as high as they were last year. Feels like he can get to the ball a little bit quicker with the hands lower.
The 3-2 sent foul.
He still stands close to the pitcher, and he still stands very close to the plate. But if you remember last year, he had the hand very high, and he really could turn on those fastballs. This year, thinks this will help him take a little bit leveler path to the ball, stay back just a little bit longer.
Second 3-2 offering. Foul to the left side. Not playable for Cervelli. Into the crowd. Marcus Patillo is calling the balls and strikes. In behind the plate, David Phelps on the hill for the Yankees. Phil Kuzzi's at first. Mark Carlson and Travis Carlson at second and third. Rasmus hits it straight away center field. Melky. Mesa. Plenty of time to look at 3 fly ball outs for Phelps. The first inning in the books. No score in Dunedin. Everybody will be sporting their Blue Jay finery on Blue Jays opening week, presented by Honda. Starts with the Cleveland Indians, April 2nd through the 4th. The Red Sox, that's right, John Farrell's return, April 5th to the 7th. Honda opening night is sold out, but for ticket information for the other games, 416-341-1234, BlueJays.com, or you can check at most Rogers Plus locations. Diaz, Mesa, and Neal due up for the Yankees in the top of the second. Starts with a strike, does J.A. Happ. Gave up 2 hits in the first inning, double to Euclid and a single to Rivera. Diaz is hitting .222 for the spring. One skips down and under the grasp of Tolley.
Diaz becomes an important guy, I think, for the Yankees with the injury to Curtis Granderson.
I thought you were going to say everybody.
The injury to everybody. You can almost say that about the New York Yankees, the way their spring has gone.
All right, back to Happ, a big reach. He's able to knock it down, make the play. Third member of our broadcast crew has got a pretty good location right down the first baseline. Here's Arash Madani.
Yeah, Rob, I certainly do. In the Blue Jays clubhouse this week, they actually were throwing around some different T-shirts, including this one that reads Lo Viste, and on the front is a design of what Jose Reyes does with the eyes, putting the 2 index fingers up. It was Emilio Bonifacio who was actually the one handing them out to the rest of the players. Everyone wearing the middle part of the week towards the end of the week, part of their team bonding deal. There's a Canadian flag on the lapel, so, and on the sleeve. So these guys are getting into the spirit here in their first year with the Blue Jays.
We'll jump into that, won't we?
Yeah.
I'll wear that.
Trim fit, though, right?
Of course.
Melky Mesa's the center fielder, hitting .250 for the spring. AA and AAA last year, hit .264, 23 home runs.
Lots of speed. One of their upper echelon minor leaguers.
Oh, he chased that down, and it's strikeout victim. First strikeout for J.A. Happ.
J. Happ has been working on a different grip on his splitter.
Right fielder number
That time it looked like the curveball, and it's a good place with a young hitter trying to make a team. With 2 strikes, you can expand the strike zone, bounce a curveball up there, and he'll go and chase it, and that's what Mesa does.
Thomas Neal, the right fielder.
But what Happ has done is he has taken his thumb from under the baseball in that split grip, and he's moved it to the side of the baseball to just get on top of it just a little bit more, trying to get more of a tumbling action on the baseball. Can be a very effective pitch, especially for a guy that with that size and the way he throws right over the top. Pete Walker, and he had been working on that in the bullpen, and if he can master that, and he got some special instruction today from Jack Morris, who was down on the field showing Pete Walker how he used to grip it.
The 2-1 ground ball that gets by a diving McCoy into center field. A base hit for Thomas Neal.
Ball up just a little bit. Catching too much of the plate, and comes right back from where it came, right back through the middle for a base hit.
Stepping in now, Jose Perella playing second. Pretty good spring. 6 hits, 15 trips to the plate, so batting .400. Takes up high.
Well, young players, the first thing you want to see, can they hit the fastball? They will challenge them with the fastball, especially when they are hitting at the bottom end of the lineup. Happ will face them, challenge them with fastballs.
Ground ball right side. Bonifacio turns, fires. Very nicely done by Emilio Bonifacio. He's got the range and makes the play. That leaves Neal on the base paths. And after an inning and a half, no score. Yankees in Dunedin. I think we can call this doubleheader day on Sportsnet after the Yankees and Blue Jays are done. Coming up at 4 o'clock on Pacific West, Ontario and East, it's the World Baseball Classic. And from Phoenix, what a big game. The United States playing Canada. Jamison Taillon going to the hill for Canada against Derek Holland. It goes at 4 o'clock, 1 Pacific time.
Win and you move on.
Win and you're in.
Yep. Yep. So that should be a lot of fun. A lot at stake there.
Well, I think now we know that the United States will be fearful of Canada because you can't mess with them. No, they'll come at you.
What was the Mexican team thinking about taking on the Canadian team?
Especially when all those Canadians started to jersey them.
I noticed that. They grabbed them and punching them.
Middle third of the order for the Blue Jays: Bautista, Cabrera, and Lind. Jose Bautista gets under it. The wind may blow it away, and it does. As Bautista sends a souvenir into the crowd here.
Jose tells me that his timing is getting there. It's not where he wants to be. Low average at 217, but he has had some home run power, 3 of them.
Hit one yesterday against the Tigers. It's Doug Fister.
Hit one the last time we were doing the game.
In Clearwater last Sunday. And that was cold. Wind was carrying out, though, in Clearwater.
I think he would have gotten that one. But he feels like he's seeing the ball much better. The timing is coming back. And why not when you're swinging the bat like this and hitting that type of pitch from Aaron Cook? That one's not coming back.
He need time to appreciate it as he rounded the base paths. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bautista. For the spring, just hitting 217, 5 hits and 23 at bats, but 3 home runs, driven in 5. Again, off speed again.
Not too worried about Jose Bautista. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes to get ready for the season. The most important thing for him is his health, and he tells me today, he says, I'm healthy, the bat speed is there, and he'll be fine.
3-2 pitch. He gets under it again. Calling for it. Nick, and then calling for it now is Perella. It just started on the shortstop side and just drifted over. And it was Perella who makes the play.
Don't take your eye off the ball this afternoon if it goes up into the air. You never know where it's going to end up. It looked like Nick's behind
started
shortstop
on it, yeah.
Was going to have a shot at that ball and blew all the way over to Perella.
22 degrees at the start of game time, 22 Celsius, and the wind blowing in from left to right. Melky Cabrera, center fielder. Hits this one into left center. On the run is Mesa, but he leaves it for Gardner, who had called for it, and makes the out. Well, we've been talking about people trying to get things in order as they get ready for the season, and it appears that Adam Lind, who we talked about in the opening, trying to get his position solidified with the Jays.
He looks like he's in good shape. And I asked him about that today. He says, I'm about 10 pounds lighter than I was in spring training last year. And he credits a lot of work with yoga to strengthen the core, be a little bit more flexible. He's been battling back problems the last few years. And last year he just looked very stiff and he just couldn't get the barrel of the bat out like we have seen him in the past. But so far in spring training, he's looked pretty good. He looks a lot more free, a lot more easy. He's been pulling the ball with regularity. And Chad Mottola, the hitting coach, sits behind the batting cage during BP and says, yep, you got it. It's back.
Looks at ball 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lind hitting .435 for the spring, 10 hits, 23 trips to the plate, 1 home run. He's driven in 4. And you called it was a tale of 2 seasons, really, too, for Adam. When he went down, was able to deal with Mottola in Las Vegas, certainly helped him.
Says he's seen the ball just a little bit better, and you can see it's not a one-piece swing like it was last year. That's what Chad Mottola on the right there, who helped Lind do. Separation. Get the hands away from the body when you start to swing.
Phelps was ahead 0-2. Now it's a full count. 2 out, bottom of the second. as Phelps has worked through very efficiently the Blue Jays order. 3-2 pitch. Lynn fouls it back. And here's a case too where Adam got behind 0-2 and then just very patiently stayed with it.
Shows you that he's seen the ball. He's taken a couple of borderline, very close pitches from Phelps, and he's been able to lay off of them.
This one he drives over the head of Nix and into left field, and Adam Lind adds another to his hit total. It's the 11th hit of the spring, a 2-out single.
I believe he has hit in every game but one, and he keeps that streak alive. Javin Toller very happy with what he sees from him. Slow everything down. And you can see how quickly that bat comes through, even in slow motion. It's on a level plane. It's a good looking swing right there.
Lynn stands at first, the first hit against Phelps on the afternoon. Phelps now facing Mark DeRosa, the third baseman. Takes a strike. DeRosa's had a great spring. Washington Nationals last season just hitting 188, but this spring with Toronto hitting 533, 8 hits, 15 at bats. And that one came in.
His playing time will go up now in the spring with the injury to Brett Lawrie. Lawrie having to pull out of the WBC because of the rib cage issue. So Mark DeRosa will get most of the reps at third base over the next couple of weeks.
DeRosa takes strike 3. The outside part of the plate, and that leaves Lind at first. 2 innings complete. No score in Dunedin. Spring training baseball. I would think many of those fans were at jshop.ca, where you can get suited up for the 2013 season. jshop.ca has the largest online selection of authentic Blue Jays caps, t-shirts, jerseys, and more. You can go to jshop.ca or call 1-877-JSHOP. And there's the spring training hat that the Blue Jays are wearing. I picked one of those up for my son. He thinks they're pretty sharp. And they have been very big sellers this year.
I think they're very sharp.
Yeah, I like
I'm going to have to crack open the wallet and pick one up.
What?
You heard me.
Mark the day down. No, it's a really nice look. And I know the fans have been in and out of the souvenir shop here, Florida Auto Exchange, and of course on jshop.ca. Top of the order for the Yankees, Brett Gardner tried to drop down a bunt. Jay Happ got to it in time and made the out. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I thought the Yankees really missed what Brett Gardner brings to the table for the Yankees last year. He missed pretty much the whole season with the elbow problems. Brings a on-base percentage, good eye at the plate, sees a lot of pitches. He's got great speed. Something the Yankees don't have a whole lot of, that good team speed where you can manufacture runs. And that's where the Yankees had a lot of problems last year. If they weren't hitting home runs, they weren't scoring runs. And I think that's a reflection on Brett Gardner being out of the lineup.
One hit the glove at 89 miles an hour.
Joe Girardi is going to have his work cut out for him the first couple of months of the season with all the injuries till the regulars get back.
Chopper to third, and DeRosa very quickly makes the play. Let's join Arash Madani once again.
Rob, Jason Nix is starting at shortstop today for the Yankees because the captain, of course, is coming from that long road back from the broken ankle he suffered in last year's postseason. It took a positive step yesterday for Derek Jeter, though. He was the Yanks DH, went 1 for 2, had a single in his first at-bat since last October. Now, Jeter handled ground balls throughout the week, so there's a positive piece among all the injury news for the Yankees is that it appears that Jeter is making his way back to the lineup.
Well, and he saw the first pitch, liked it yesterday, and singled to left field.
How about that? You're right. He talked about big first step. How about a quick first step? First pitch that he saw, he ripped it.
Getting under this is Nix. Calling for it is McCoy. Bonifacio was also there in case, but it's McCoy who makes the play.
And did you see what Derek Jeter said about that after the game, about that hit? He said, oh, that pitcher must have felt sorry for me because I've been said he laid it right in there for him.
Well, both Jeter got some work in yesterday. Mariano Rivera, perfect inning.
And those are good signs after a couple of weeks of some really bad news for the Yankees with the injuries.
It's high hands of Kevin Youkilis as he prepares for the pitch from J-Hap. And he is filling in for injured Alex Rodriguez, who likely won't be ready until the All-Star break.
Yeah, that would be the earliest that they're talking about A-Rod coming back is the All-Star break. Just didn't look right last year. Just didn't have that speed of the bat. The lower half just couldn't get into the swing last year for him. And we all know why now, because of the hip problems.
Youkilis takes that strike on the inside. Doubled off the wall in right. His first trip to the plate in the first inning. Got as far as third. No score in this ball game. 90 miles an hour. Well, as we were talking about it, this is just a partial list because we only have so much space. Here are the three big ones with A-Rod, hip surgery. Curtis Granderson, who was hit by a half pitch, broken arm. Mark Teixeira with the wrist, and he's out 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, and right now, that's why we say the first 6 weeks of the season, they're going to really have to piece it together. They're hoping Granderson comes back in the middle of May, and that's what the timetable says. The same thing with Teixeira, but with wrist injuries, you never know. Jose Bautista thought that he could be out 6 or 7 weeks last year with the same type of injury, that injury to the sheath of the tendon in your wrist, and he ended up missing the rest of the season.
3-2 pitch, catches him. Strikeout number 2 for J-Hap, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the third for the Yankees. Hap delivers, and it freezes Youkilis. Well, the fans were enjoying the good old hockey game by stomping Tom Connors, but there's good old baseball coming up. Dominican Republic against Puerto Rico on Ontario and East at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time as the World Baseball Classic continues. Canada against the United States goes at 4 o'clock on East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Now that is the 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and I hope everybody sprang forward the way they were supposed to last night. I don't think anybody reported late for work.
No, I didn't see anybody. Everybody was here on time. 9 o'clock stretch.
I know you took attendance. Well done. Tolley, McCoy, and Davis in the Jays half of the third. The Mets last year, the numbers for Josh Tolley. Drives this into center field. Base hit. Leadoff single. Second hit of the game by the Blue Jays against David Phelps.
Josh Tolley with a nice little short swing. That's his game. Just spray the ball around the field. Take it right back through the middle. Not going to hit for a lot of power. He's got a good eye at the plate and a nice little short swing. A good start here in the third.
Rajay Davis. Fly ball to left field. Oh, Mike McCoy rather, and then Rajay Davis. That's the order. McCoy, his first trip to the plate. On the move is Tolley. Ground ball, and Phelps makes the play to first.
John Gibbons not wasting any time after the base hit by the number 8 hitter. They play hit and run on the first pitch. Mike McCoy getting it on the ground. Gets that runner into scoring position.
Number 11, Rajay Davis.
So McCoy does his job, moving Tolley to second, and now Rajay Davis, who flied out to left field, as previously mentioned. Runner in scoring position.
Good time to play hit and run, just like we saw. You got a guy who can handle the bat, the pitcher who throws a ton of strikes, and David Phelps. Why not? The worst thing you're going to come out of that is you got the leadoff hitter up with a runner in scoring position. You got 2 shots at trying to drive in that runner.
Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike to Davis. 257 last year in his time with the Blue Jays. He's driven in 4 runs this spring. Chopper to third. Youkilis gathers it up, makes the play.
Blue Jays spring training on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MLB 13 The Show. Only on PS3 and Vita. Available in stores now.
Wouldn't be a bad day to be at the beach, but pretty good day, an excellent day, in fact, to be at the ballpark. Emilio Bonifacio flied out to center. Tolley at second base. 2 down. Facing David Phelps. We were talking about the injuries for the New York Yankees, and CC Sabathia throwing a simulated game today in Tampa. They want to get him into actual game action next week. Ground ball right to second. Pirelli's got plenty of time, makes the play, and that will leave Tolley on the base pass. 3 innings complete in Dunedin, New York, and Toronto scoreless. I know it has been mentioned that the opening night is sold out. Well, Honda's opening night has a very special contest for you presented by Sportsnet 590 The Fan. They have kept 2 tickets back, and you can win 2 tickets to Honda opening night against Cleveland on the 2nd of April. And the prize includes airfare, hotel accommodations in Toronto. Contest will close Wednesday, March 20th, and you can enter at BlueJays.com. 4th inning of work for Jay Happ against the New York Yankees. Connects with the strike with Pat Tabler, Arash Madani, Statsman, and Sportsnet.ca columnist Scott Carson, the elder statesman. I'm Rob Faulds, in for Buck Martinez, who's on duty on the World Baseball Classic. And the first batter, Juan Rivera, singles up the middle. Let's join Arash Madani.
Rob, as we see Jay Happ pitch well so far through 3 innings, you're reminded of Ricky Romero, who struggled again yesterday in his 2 innings of work, 1 less than scheduled because he did his pitch count. The plan, regardless, John Gibbons said, is that no starter will skip a start in April. Usually you sit guys if they're a question mark in the 5th slot, Gibbons said, especially in the first month of the season. Not so with Romero. Well, now we wonder, is Romero one of those questions going into the season?
That's a terrific point, too. And with the way that this man on the mound has performed, left-hander Jay Happ.
Yep. And John Gibbons and Alex Anthopoulos have said all along, we're going to take the best players north with us from spring training. Now, I think you have to take into consideration what the person has done at the big league level. And Ricky had a little bit of a hiccup last year, a bad year. Bad second half. At one time he was 8-1. A lot of management and general managers have been fooled by spring training in the past. You know, guys who've had great springs and then the bell rings for the regular season and they're not the same player. But it's an interesting thing. It's a great problem to have, I think.
Cervelli fouls it back. He grounded out to short. His first at bat. We saw Ricky Romero last Sunday in Clearwater. He went 2 innings, 1 run on 1 hit, struck out 1, walked 1. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did look good last week. Now the difference between what we saw last week and what we saw yesterday, got back into that same groove where he fell behind hitters and then he'd reach back for a little something extra, became very stiff. He couldn't find his release point. And he started yanking pitches around the strike zone. What we saw back in Clearwater last week, very controlled, very relaxed, very slow, very free, very easy. The ball was coming out of his hand and moving. It was 92 miles an hour. Yesterday it was just a little bit trying to put too much on the ball, and that's what Pete Walker wants to do. He wants to have him slow down just a little bit, and instead of reaching back for a little something extra, pull off a little bit.
Happ comes in. Whoa, very close pitch at 90 miles an hour. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Francisco Cervelli.
Well, you know you've got good placement with your fastball when you can dot it right there, freeze everybody. And it certainly looked like a strike.
(3-2) on the move. Pitches up high. Ball 4. It's the first walk issued by Happ. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Yankees have something cooking in the top of the 4th.
Thought he had Cervelli struck out, and then you've got to come back and make a better pitch.
Happ scheduled for 4 innings today. Cecil, Ortiz, and Hinshaw also marked down to pitch.
Brett Cecil will throw 2 innings. He should follow Jay Happ this afternoon. And then Hinshaw and Ortiz, like you said.
Our plan is to talk to Jay Happ when he's all finished with his day's work. Dias grounded back to the pitcher.
Going to have to make a pitch right now. Matt Diaz is known as a very good fastball hitter. Couple of runners on, nobody out. He's ahead in the count. You know he's sitting on the fastball here.
And that Diaz is one of those ones spending time competing for an outfield and or DH spot, combination thereof. And with the injuries, good performance.
Oh, he's in the picture.
Yeah, puts him in the picture big time.
He's in the picture because he's got a low number. Yeah. Wearing number 22, he's got a great chance.
What was your first number at spring?
60 with the Yankees.
That was an appeal. Yeah, he's wearing Roger Clemens number 22.
Mm-hmm.
And when you started with 60, did you?
60.
How'd you feel there when they handed you 60? Feeling pretty confident? It was a Major League Baseball uni, so I guess you felt pretty good.
That's exactly right. Big league camp for the first time. Look around.
You take 600.
I'll take anything. Look around. Mickey Mantle was there, and Joe DiMaggio, and Yogi Berra, Catfish Hunter, Whitey Ford. Those were just the retired guys. And there was Reggie Jackson and Dave Winfield. I mean, it was something.
2-2, swatted at, chopped down.
They could have given me any number. Big pitch here. 2-2. You don't want to go to 3-2.
Rivera's at second, Cervelli at first. He goes 3-2 as he tried to paint the outside corner. At second, Juan Rivera taking his lead off first. Francisco Cervelli, and at the plate, Matt Diaz. Diaz now 3-2, swings at it. Now we've been talking about the Yankees and the injuries, but they've got spots to fill. They lost Nick Swisher, Russell Martin, Raul Ibanez, Eric Chavez, Andrew Jones, and with it a lot of long ball possibility.
Yeah, I think you counted that's 94 right there. Those 5 players who've already left. Then you take out the 43 that Curtis Granderson hit last year. A-Rod is not in the lineup.
Ground ball right side, right to Adam Lind. He will make the easy play at first, runners advance.
So that is a lot of production that the Yankees have lost in their lineup. Mark Teixeira is also out. So they're going to have to figure out ways to score runs. And they've been talking about leaning on their pitching staff just a little bit more at the beginning of the season before they get some of those guys back.
Runners at second and third, 1 out, and a visit to Jay Happ. They're going to make the change as he reached his pitch. So they have. And Happ has done his service for this Sunday. So 1 out, top of the 4th, and new man comes to the mound to replace Happ. It is Cecil when we come back to Dunedin. Jay Happ's day is done, and now it's Brett Cecil's turn, Pat.
Brett Cecil, the first man out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. This is what he did last year in 21 games, trying to make the team as one of the left-handers out of the bullpen, throwing noticeably harder this spring than what we saw last year. And you can do that in short stints out of the bullpen. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Big situation here for Cecil.
Melky Mesa, runners at second and third. Rivera standing at third, Cervelli's at second. And Mesa struck out his first at bat. Cecil takes a long time looking in Tolley. The 0-1. There for a strike. 87 miles an hour.
Okay, now he is up 0-2. Remember what Mesa did last time. Curveball in the dirt from Jay Happ, and he ended up striking him out. Brett Cecil's got a couple of options. He can go upstairs with a fastball, or he can try one of those curveballs here.
Comes in, strike three call. Inside with a fastball.
I think that one surprised young Melky Mesa, that he came right after him with a fastball. Freezes him on the inner half. That one 90 miles an hour in a good spot. A big strikeout for Cecil.
6 of the 10 outs for Happ were ground ball outs. That's a good sign. And now Cecil does his job by coming in, getting the first man he faces. Happ gave up a single to Rivera, walked Cervelli. Got a ground ball out to Diaz, and now Brett Cecil's taken over. Struck out the first man he faced. Now facing Thomas Neal, who singled into center field. .91 high and outside.
Yeah, noticeably harder than what we've seen last year from Cecil, reaching back to for a little bit extra. Spent the whole winter working with that arm strengthening technique that Steve Delabar made famous last year. It shows. Radar gun a lot higher than last year.
2-0 down low. Two runners on, 2 out. Cecil with a 3-0 count to Thomas Neal. Misses outside. Bases are loaded. And they're loaded for Jose Perella. Grounded out, a very nice play by Bonifacio to end the second inning. Yankees threatening, and a strike. 92 miles an hour from Cecil.
After he fell behind Thomas Neal, it looked like Brett Cecil was pitching around him with first base open. Say, okay, you know, I'm not going to give it in right here after the big strikeout to Mesa. If I end up walking, not that big of a deal. Now they've got to force out at any base.
And he went after it. And ahead. 0-2. Perella started on it, just couldn't hold up. And you hear the crowd starting to get into it with the bases loaded and a 2-strike count. The 0-2. Foul back. He came at him with heat again.
Yeah. I think after the check swing from Perella on the second pitch, felt like he can go back up there. High fastball upstairs, maybe expand the strike zone, straighten him up just a little bit. And if he is a free swinger, and he looks like a free swinger, you can get him out by throwing the ball outside the strike zone.
The 0-2 goes off speed there. After 92 miles an hour, 92, then 91, comes back with 81.
Yeah, and that's the difference. That's what you want. And he didn't have that last year. He didn't have that separation in his breaking ball speed and his fastball speed. And that is very tough on hitters when you've got that 10-mile-an-hour separation.
Bases full. Top of the fourth, 2 down. Another 0-2 pitch from Brett Cecil to Jose Perella. Ground ball, snagged nicely. Long throw over, in time. Terrific play by Mark DeRosa to end the threat, and the fans stand and salute. Had to range over, make the play, then make the throw. Still no score. Something to keep in mind if you're a collector. Blue Jays bobbleheads for 2013. They're cutesy and they're fun to have on the shelf. There we go. Edwin Encarnacion, Sunday, April 21st against the Yankees. JP Arancibia on the 7th of July against the Twins. And August 11th against the Athletics. Brett Laurie, the first 20,000 fans, will receive a bobblehead. 416-341-1234 for ticket information. BlueJays.com for most Rogers Plus locations. Bottom of the fourth inning, Rasmus, Bautista, and Cabrera due up. David Phelps continues to work. Weak grounder goes right back to Phelps. He'll scoop it up. And Rasmus is 0 for 2. Fans, it's time now for the MLB 13 The Show simulation powered by MLB 13 The Show, only on PS3 and Vita. Available in stores right now. Now, PlayStation's provided their prediction for Jose Bautista's season with a simulation from MLB 13 The Show in the video game version of the Blue Jays 2013 season. Here's how the season plays out. They hope to see a lot of those home runs. And here are the numbers that they've got for Bautista, Tabby. What do you think?
Wow, 47 home runs, 126 RBIs, an on-base percentage over 400.
And, well, watch this, a fly ball, but the wind will push it down into the glove of Gardner. The fans thinking maybe they saw a little bit of MLB 13.
Yeah, caught that one a little bit off the end of the bat right there. And there are the numbers. Average with runners in scoring position, 345 on-base percentage, over 400. My question is, and we all hope that Jose has that type of season, who's the pitcher? Give me a bat. 47, 126. I'd like to hit against that guy.
Well, that's against the league. He's just beating up everybody.
Well,
we didn't see who the pitcher was, did we, on that?
Well, I hope Jose has that type of year, because if he does, good things are going to happen with the Blue Jays.
Well, Phelps went 2 pitches, 2 outs. Now we'll have to go at least 4 pitches as he's facing Melky Cabrera. Flied out to left.
That looked real, though, didn't it? That MLB 13.
It's amazing how clear it is. Yeah.
My kids play that religiously every day.
Are you any good at it?
Heck no. Too many buttons to push and too many things to remember. But I like watching it.
Yeah.
I'll go up there and watch it. It's like watching a real ball game.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Bottom of the 4th inning, no score. Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin. Three and 1 the count. So after getting the first 2 batters, bang bang, and do a little work with Melky Cabrera.
And that's his job. After those first 2 batters go out on 2 pitches, he's got to see a couple of pitches, make him work just a little bit.
He turned and started to waltz towards first. Umpires hate that. It's called strike. 3-2.
Jay Happ had one called a strike. He had one also called a ball. Same type of pitch, that time a strike. That'll be swinging now.
Three-two. He's swinging. Fair ball into the corner right field. Cabrera rounds first. Some trouble by Neal in the corner, but Cabrera has a stand-up double.
Fans are going to watch Melky Cabrera this summer, and they're going to see a guy who can just flat out hit. 3-2. He comes back with a curveball, and Cabrera stays back and whacks it down in the right field corner for extra bases. After taking a 3-1 pitch for a strike, a fastball, Phelps tries to change up, throw him a curveball, but that guy can hit. And he's standing in scoring position for the hottest hitter on the Blue Jays.
Adam Lind, who singled in the 2nd inning. 1 of 3 Blue Jay hits now. Lind's got 1, Tolley and Cabrera.
I know it's spring training, and I know the games don't mean anything and people are trying to get their work. But I'd be very surprised if Phelps throws anything close to the strike zone.
It's a situation. This is what we want to be in. It's the situations that you're going to get during the regular season. He's taking a look at Cabrera at 2nd. And down low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, guys still have pride and they still want shutout innings when they go out to the mound. And he knows that Adam Lind is hot. He also knows that Melky Cabrera is in scoring position. You want to save that run. And you've got first base open and a right-hander on deck.
The 1-1 in the dirt and blocked by Cervelli.
Very quick behind the plate as Francisco Cervelli, the catcher, go down to that knee and just keep that ball in front of you. There's Mark DeRosa, the right-hander on deck, who struck out his first time against Phelps.
Cervelli runs through the signs for David Phelps. Cabrera at 2nd, 2 out. Their first strike at 89. Where do you put the Yankees catching situation now that Russell Martin has moved on?
That is a big question mark for the Yankees this year. Right now it's Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli. They have a couple of young kids in their farm system, but they're not sure if they are ready yet to play every day in the big leagues.
Quick look at Joe Girardi. He's not coming back.
He might have to.
Yeah. Our director, Trey Clares, he's still got the pipes to do it.
But right now, Cervelli and Stewart are the 2 catchers who'll do most of the work for him.
Well, after quick work on Rasmus and Bautista, Phelps has had to bear down with Cabrera and Lind.
And he didn't challenge him with a 3-2 fastball. Threw him a changeup.
Fastball him now?
Well, I was a guess hitter, so I'd be guessing off speed pitch.
Again?
Yep. I know first base is open. We'll see.
The 3-2 right back at Phelps, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Phelps ends the inning, leaving Cabrera at second. 4 innings done, no score. Sellout in Dunedin this afternoon as the Yankees come to visit the Blue Jays. Jay Happ got the start, went 3 1/3, and joins us now. Put the headset on right at the first baseline. Jay, thanks for joining us. What's your first reaction to your work today?
I feel good about it. It's definitely nice to continue to get stretched out, and obviously would like to get through that 4th inning, but I feel good about throwing strikes definitely today.
It looked like you were standing tall on the mound and really driving to the bottom of the strike zone. Is that something that you were cognizant of?
Absolutely, yeah. Pete and I have been trying to work on kind of tempo, speeding up just a little bit, but without kind of rushing and staying on top of the ball. So the taller I stay out there, usually the better angle I'll have, and it comes out a little better that way also.
Your fastball was really staying down at the lower part of the strike zone. 6 ground ball outs. Do you consider yourself a ground ball type pitcher?
History has said no, but I would definitely wouldn't mind that. It would be nice. I am working on a 2-seam fastball, and we threw quite a few of those today. And ground balls were the result, and that was good. So that's a continued work in progress.
Gardner, Nix, and Youkilis facing Brett Cecil. Came in relief of Jay Happ, our guest. 0-1 the count.
Pete was telling me that you've changed your grip a little bit on your split finger fastball. Did you throw any today?
I did not, actually. We talked about that after the outing about trying to get some of those, as well as some straight changeups in, just to get used to changing up the speed. So that's something that we're going to continue to work on the side, and then hopefully take it into next game.
Now, what has John Gibbons told you about your role with the team for 2013, Jay?
Not too much.
You're waiting.
Yeah, we'll see how the spring plays out. I'm obviously, would love to be on this squad, and obviously see myself, helping them, and it looks like it could be a fun season. So we'll see where that ends up. We'll take it one game at a time. As
you progress towards opening day, where do you think you are in terms of being where you want to be on April the 2nd?
I think on pace, definitely. That with the WBC we get maybe an extra outing this year as far as an extra start. I mean, so with rehabbing my foot this off season, I got just a slightly slower start than normal. So it's nice to have maybe that extra start to build up the arm strength and build up the innings.
Now, Jay, this is pretty much a month since you guys reported pitchers and catchers. You like to get into 4 innings now. It's more like the game atmosphere, isn't it?
It is, definitely. You go through the batting order. You see guys twice, pretty soon 3 times, and that makes it even more challenging. So you got to have hopefully stuff tightened up by that point.
And you're starting to use all of your pitches, all the curveball, the changeup, two-seamer. You said that real game situations.
Yeah, exactly. You know, especially guys get on base. We saw today, starting guys up off. Obviously it's spring training, but you're still out there, and once the hitter's in the box, you don't want to give up any hits, any runs. So, we started using stuff pretty much game, regular season type stuff today already.
Well, 3 1/3, no runs. Nice effort tonight, this afternoon. Jay, thanks for joining us.
All right, guys, thanks for having me.
Great job today.
Thank you.
Jay Happ, as he tries to make his bid to be part of the mix for 2013 with the Toronto Blue Jays. A walk to Brett Gardner. Jason Nix now 0 for 2. Flied out and popped out. Cecil delivers an excuse me swing to Nix, goes foul down the first base side.
Gardner certainly a threat to steal over at first base. Trying to get a read of Brett Cecil. A little bit different where the leadoff batter last inning was Juan Rivera. He really couldn't do a whole lot of hit and run, steal, any of that kind of stuff. Much different this inning with Brett Gardner on first base. He's got a very aggressive lead over there.
We've got the full crew out today here in Dunedin. Jamie Campbell handling things on the panel with Dirk Hayhurst and Stephen Brunt. Terrific pregame show. A lot to talk about with the World Baseball Classic. Chat with Jose Bautista. See off speed.
Now you are Mr. Dunedin from what I understand. Where can I go to watch the game after this one? Canada, U.S.
Oh, well, let me just get my file. I'll go through the file of facts.
You're the man here. That's what they tell me, that you know all the places here.
I read the tourist information pamphlet when
Thank
I came
you.
in.
So we'll be able to find the game
we'll
somewhere.
find, yeah.
All right. I want to see that game.
Ground ball could be 2. Oh, trouble. Now just settling for 1. No. McCoy maybe thinking about the DP, not able to get the play. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, a little bit too quick trying to pull the trigger in Mike McCoy at shortstop. He charges the ball, which he has to do because he knows the runners can run. And it comes right up to him. You see how he charges it, goes to catch it, and then the transfer, he had plenty of time. That's where you really have to slow yourself down. If you get ahead of yourself, these type of things are going to happen. And the Yankees are sitting pretty now. First 2 runners get on.
And you could see Mike right away go, okay, I'm not going to get second. Let's try for first. So heads up and trying to get one of them. There, they fake going. Brakes were on. Kevin Youkilis doubled in the first inning. Called out on strikes in the third.
This is one of the problems that the Blue Jays have had this spring, is their ability or their inability to catch the ball consistently. They have worked hard on it. They did some extra work this morning. And now Brett Cecil really has his work cut out for him.
Scheduled for 2 innings of work. Brett Cecil. Outside, 3-0.
Big difference from last inning to this inning. Last inning, the first 2 runners got on board, and they were able to get out of it by pitching to the bottom of the lineup. This inning, the first 2 runners get aboard, and they've got to go right through the middle, the heart of the Yankee lineup this afternoon. Youkilis, Rivera, Cervelli, some veterans who've been around, and they have hit in these situations before.
3-0 for a strike, 90 miles an hour. 3-1. Runners first and second. Gardner at second. Nix at first. 3-1's up high, and bases are loaded. Third walk by Cecil in his time, second this inning. And now you've got Rivera to the plate. Rivera is 2 for 2.
Well, he can hit. He does a good job knowing situations, Juan Rivera, and just using his hands. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and overswing. Let the ball travel, track a little bit deeper, and then just use your hands. That's why he comes up with so many line drive hits.
Breaking ball for a strike to start against Rivera.
He wanted to call that one. It looked like the home plate umpire wanted to raise that right hand. But Rivera stays back infield, playing back. Here's that last pitch. You can see him flinch just a little bit and then say no, just off the plate. There's the infield. They're going to concede a run. They're looking for the double play grounder. They'll trade a run for a couple of outs.
There we go, big swing. See, Tolley also dressed that last one too. Try to help it out. No. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bases full.
Pull it back up into the strike zone. Keep the ball down. Get the ball on the ground and get a couple of outs.
The 1-2. And just reaching out to keep the at-bat alive as Rivera just kind of stretched out to get a piece of the ball.
And no stride. You can see he's spread out as it is, and he's just now just trying to use his hands and track the ball as long as possible. Just make contact, get the ball into the outfield. Watch him. No stride. Shorten up the swing just a little bit. You don't want to strike out here.
The 1-2. Fly ball. This one will get into the alley in right center field. 1 runner. Here comes Gardner. Nix is coming around. Here comes Youkilis in the plate. He is safe at the plate as the relay comes in. Clearing the bases. Juan Rivera and the Yankees jump in front 3-0.
Juan Rivera can hit, and he knows situations, and he knows what he has to do at the plate, who's on the mound, and how to succeed. We showed you that one pitch that he fouled off. We had no stride. This is the hit. Look at that. No stride. Just get the bat head of the barrel out to the baseball, and good things are going to happen. Rips it up to the gap in right center field. The Blue Jays have a shot at the plate, but the throw is just offline up the first base side, or they would have had Youkilis. You see, Tolley has to go get it, and by the time he comes back, Youkilis scores all the way from first base.
And that was the first hit of the inning after a walk, an error, and then another walk. Francisco Cervelli with Rivera at second, fouls it away.
Well, he has always been able to hit, Rivera. You could just see the approach at the plate, capitalizing on the error by Mike McCoy that opened up this inning. Rivera, you could see he had a game plan up there. He knew exactly how he was going to attack Brett Cecil, and he came through with a 3-run double. Professional hitting right there.
Still nobody out. .90 miles an hour, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 as Cecil ahead on Cervelli. Grounded out first inning, walked in the fourth.
Now you just want to battle. Runner at second base, nobody out. You're trying to push the ball to the right side of the infield and move that runner up now with 2 strikes, just trying to survive.
Offered at it, and they appeal. First base umpire Phil Cousy says no.
Yeah, and a good pitch. 0-2 or now 1-2. Fastball on the inner half where you could try and freeze him. Thinking about shortening up his swing, and he's looking for the ball out over the plate. And if you bust him inside with a fastball, you might be able to get a caught looking for a strikeout.
The 1-2. Cecil gets him. So that's the first out in the 5th inning after 3 runs have come around to score. And of course, if you talk about the bullpen, Brett Cecil in the left-handed reliever mix along with Luke and Oliver. Is it a puzzle, or is it constantly in motion, always shifting?
I think it's a puzzle that the Blue Jays are trying to figure out here, and they've got 3 weeks to do that. What's compounding the problem is Casey Jansen has not been able to throw off the mound yet. Coming back from that shoulder surgery, he is just throwing some bullpens, and from everything I hear, everything is going along quite well. Sergio Santos is another one who had to come out of the ball game that we did last Sunday because of some shoulder soreness.
A little tenderness, he said, and he threw today, and things went well. Dustin McGowan threw today on the side. That went well.
That list that we just threw up there, the guy who might be throwing the best out of all of them is Jeremy Jeffress. We saw him last week also. He's got a great arm. He's out of options. Blue Jays were able to get a waiver claim and pick him up for, I think, 20 grand.
Whoa! Bonifacio gets one, tried to double off. Rivera, he climbed the ladder to make the play and make the second out on Diaz. Oh, that's 2 very good defensive plays by Emilio Bonifacio.
Hey, he can play second base. You got to give him some reps over there. He hasn't played there a whole lot over the last couple of years. He's been in the outfield, and he has had some injuries, but he can play there. And that was a good one there. It saved a run.
And it marks the end of Brett Cecil on the hill. New pitcher when we come back to Dunedin. Yankees with a 3-run lead. Spring baseball action in Florida, and Brett Cecil's turn is done. Alex Hinshaw will check in.
Another lefty for the Blue Jays. Hinshaw, 33 games last season with San Diego and the Chicago Cubs. 1-1 with a 6.04 earned run average, but 11 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. He's got a good fastball and a sharp slider, a little bit of a changeup. Comes in here to get some work in. He will probably finish up this inning and throw another one. Let's try to stretch him out just a little bit.
Melky Mesa struck out twice. Runner at second is Rivera, who brought in 3 with his double into right. Bases loaded double has given the Yankees a 3-0 lead. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Blue Jays, no runs on 3 hits. They have committed an error. Hinshaw delivers. Getting under this is Mesa. Shallow left. McCoy goes in, and he's called off by Rajay Davis. And Hinshaw does his job, stranding Rivera. But Rivera, the big blast, 3-0 Yanks. Baseball fan, then MLB.TV is for you. You can get ready for the season. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in HD quality. You can watch up to 4 games at once with multi-game viewing. Season subscriptions start at $109.99. You can visit BlueJays.com for more details on MLB.TV. David Phelps comes out for a little more work at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin. DeRosa, Tolley, and McCoy due up. Breaking ball settles in for the first pitch of the 5th inning for Toronto, trailing 3-0. Bases clearing double by Juan Rivera. Got the Yankees on the board. Sent foul. And into the crowd down the right field side. Some oohs and ahs. Did they get an error or did they make a catch? They're just happy to have a souvenir, yeah.
I don't know if they thought they were going to get one all the way down there, but it works out. David Phelps has looked great. You know, he has kept the ball out of the middle of the plate. He has kept it down. He's kept his slider down and away from the right-handers. And he's looked very much in control.
He's 1 strikeout. He's got 5 fly ball outs, 6 fly ball outs, and 3 ground ball outs, and you can add another casualty as DeRosa goes down. Let's join Arash Madan.
Rob, as the Yankees go into their bullpen, it's going to be the farewell tour for one of their greats. And Joe Girardi was telling the story this week about the first time he was introduced to the kid from Panama who'd only signed with the Yankees for $3,000. It was back in 1996. And Girardi said, "Who's this Mariano Rivera? I've never heard of him." Well, they've heard of him now. Girardi said this week, "I have never seen him stressed." And how about what his old skip, Joe Torre, said from Arizona, the WBC, "Mo is the greatest ever. He basically made my career."
Well, and I would think that Joe Girardi will agree with them. And I thought that Mariano Rivera, who spoke very little English when he broke into the major leagues, sat in front of the media yesterday and said, "It's time." And he said it very nicely, succinctly. There was a smile on his face as if he has come to that understanding. Yeah. He says, "I'm hoping my last pitch is the last pitch of the World Series. I'd like that to be the way I go out, but I've made the decision."
And he goes out yesterday, 1 inning, 15 pitches, 2 punch outs, 1-2-3 inning. Just like he hasn't missed a beat at all. It was back last May in Kansas City where he blew out his knee and missed the rest of the season. And he said also that if he did not get hurt last year, 2012 would have been his final season.
Josh Tolley has one of the 3 Blue Jays hits on the afternoon against Phelps. Up high, full count now.
How many times can you say a guy has played 19 years in the big leagues as a pitcher and basically have one pitch?
Yeah.
One type of pitch.
But a good pitch.
That's how devastating that one pitch was. The cut fastball.
Inside, and Tolley is aboard. Well, and just take a look at the all-time saves. Rivera at 608 with this season to come. Hoffman, Lee Smith, John Franco, and Billy Wagner. 43 years of age, Mariano Rivera.
And that's not even counting all the
postseason
records and World Series records that he's held as a reliever.
Chopped down. Again, very quickly off the mound is Phelps. He'll make the play on McCoy, but it does move Tolley into scoring position.
Hit and run last time with Mike McCoy, and he bounced back to Phelps that time trying to bunt for a base hit. Just couldn't get the ball out in front and push it by. It looked like he was trying to push it by the pitcher, Phelps, and hit it right back to him.
2 out. Rajay Davis, who has flied out and grounded out, has Tolley at second base. Blue Jays looking to push a run across the plate. Yankees leading 3-0 here in the 5th. Again, coming with the bunt was Davis. He's got the speed.
Well, that's a little bit of a surprise right there. With 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, you're down by 3 runs. Kevin Youkilis looking in at third base saying, go ahead and swing the bat. Try and drive that run in. Even if you're sacrificed, you can see how deep he is. Youkilis at third base. He is not anticipating Rajay dropping down a bunt.
Big cut. You know, Phelps has been very much in control of the game today.
So you got the little swing, the bunt, and now the big swing. Slider down and away. Rajay was thinking about unloading right there. A home run.
It's almost full 360. The 0-2 misses away.
Phelps has looked very effortless this afternoon, hasn't he?
Sure, with the situation that Joe Girardi and the Yankees find themselves in with pitching, to have somebody like Phelps come in and just look in control. 2 balls, 2 strikes as they appeal to first and Phil Cousy.
A young pitcher. A guy they really don't have to baby, as you see Rajay hold up on that slider down and away. Yankees have a lot of age in their starting rotation. It's nice to have a young kid like this.
26 is a baby.
Yeah.
St. Louis native, went to Notre Dame.
You know, when you have pitchers like Phelps, when I talk about him, he looked in control this afternoon. He's got a nice, easy wind-up. And as a hitter, when a pitcher has that type of wind-up, all of a sudden the ball's on top of you. It's that type of motion where it kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit. And all of a sudden that fastball's in on your hands. Or that slider is getting on you very quickly.
You know, and you talk about the way that Phelps is performing now, and the rotation, so it should be Sabathia, Kuroda, Pettit, Hughes, Nova. And now you put Phelps in there too. And Phelps finishes off the Blue Jays, leaving Tolley at second. So strikeout number 3 on the day by Phelps gets him through 5 innings, and he's got a 3-0 lead. Primetime Sports will be live from Blue Jays spring training for the next 2 weeks. Bob McCowan, Stephen Brunt, Damian Cox. We'll talk to baseball's biggest names on the Sportsnet Radio Network and Sportsnet TV. Bob is in. Brunt is here. Damian Cox is on his way. And per diem will take a beating for the next 2 weeks. Some changes for the Blue Jays. Langerhans is in left. Gose in center. Jimenez is at first. Nikias is behind the plate. And LaRoche is at third base. Scooped up. And Thomas Neal is retired.
For the Blue Jays now catching Mike Nikias. First base Luis Jimenez. Center field
Hinshaw continues his work.
That's what you want. After you boot that one ball, you want that next one right to you. Kind of a redeemer right there. Nice little tricky hop that he stayed with. Get the first out. Joe's got a good arm. Good hard fastball and a sharp slider. Will probably start the season in AAA Buffalo.
Perella takes a pitch outside. He's grounded out twice. And one of those groundouts was very nice defensive play by Emilio Bonifacio at second as he went deep to his right to make the play up and make the toss to first. And he's starting to settle down in the infield. There's a strike.
How about the young man's next at bat? He was robbed of extra bases by DeRosa at third base. Bases loaded. Perella set one down the third base line, and DeRosa snatched it and got him at first base. That would have been 3 runs.
Underneath it. And it gets in behind and off the screen just above the fans behind home plate.
I'm wondering if he's liking Dunedin right now because he's been robbed of a couple of hits.
A very long trip from Tampa and the spring training home for the New York Yankees to Dunedin. Up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got under that slider right there. You want to stay on top of it and really drive that ball down in the strike zone. Hinshaw got under that one.
The 2-2 outside. Josh Toley's day is done. He joins us now. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Doing good. I guess glad it's over. It's 5 innings.
Hey, tell me how you had the best seat in the house. How Jay Happ threw this afternoon.
Yeah, we established a sinker early in the game, and we were able to, I feel like pretty much dominate with it.
And getting Perella is Alex Hinshaw.
Talk a little bit about in spring training your job as a catcher, especially one who's coming over to a new organization and you're catching all new pitchers, a new pitching staff. You know, what the kind of things that you have to do during the day to learn these guys?
Well, I mean, first off, you want to try to figure out, what pitches they throw first, and then, try to figure out how they pitch, because you don't want to, a guy out there shaking. And personally today with Cecil, I was not able to get on the same page. We were kind of back and forth. So it's kind of part of the learning process when you have a new, you come to a new organization, and as time goes on, you get a better feel.
What was the problem with Brett Cecil? You wanted something and he wanted something else?
No, more so it's like I said, it's just trying to figure out how he likes to pitch, how he likes to attack hitters, lefties, righties, certain situations, and I'm getting a better feel for it. And as time goes on, it'll gradually get better.
Strike 2 to top of the order, Brett Gardner. Now with the JP Arencibia at the World Baseball Classic, Josh, you're getting lots of work, you and Mr. Blanco.
Yeah, this is great. It's an opportunity to get to know the guys and get familiar. As far as how the guys like to pitch, And, you know, like playing the Yankees, you play them, you know, 18 times in the season. So you're trying to figure out, you know, how to attack the hitters.
Well, thanks for joining us. That was a quick hitting of work by Alex Hinshaw. Josh, take care.
All right, thank you.
Josh Tolley doing his job and Hinshaw doing his in the 6th. Welcome back to Dunedin, Florida, where Preston Claiborne takes over from a very impressive David Phelps.
Yeah, very impressive outing by Phelps. 5 innings, no runs, no earned runs. Preston Claiborne, AA and AAA last year. There are his numbers. He'll probably start the season in the minor leagues for the Yankees. He's a typical Yankee type of pitcher. Big, broad-shouldered, tall, and a good-looking arm.
Facing Emilio Bonifacio to begin the bottom of the 6th. Yankees leading 3-0. Bases loaded double by Juan Rivera. Got the Yankees on the board in the 5th. Bonifacio, chopper right back to the hill, and very quickly Claiborne up with it and makes the play.
Defensive changes for the Yankees. Now playing third base, Ronnie Stellier. At second base, Corbin Joseph.
Coming up in an hour, it's the WBC, or the way Canada's playing, maybe it's the WWE instead of the WBC, but it's Canada and the United States set to go at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Jamison Taillon against Derek Holland for the United States, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. On Sportsnet East Ontario, West and Pacific, Colby Erasmus. His 3rd trip to the plate, he's flied out and grounded out.
Just his 3rd game, so the timing just isn't there right now for Colby. Doing his work in the cages and everything. That one out of play down the right field line. And I think he broke his bat. Claiborne got in there, but the timing is going to come around, and he still has 3 weeks to get himself into game shape. Tough to start spring training. You get yourself in shape, you hit off of pitchers, then you have to shut it down for a week or so, like Colby did, and then start it back up.
Rasmus in the air, shallow center field, reaching out, drops in. That's a base hit with 1 out for Rasmus. He's 1 for 3.
And you just try and battle when your timing is messed up, and that's what Rasmus did right there. Just battle, fight off a couple of pitches, and this one off the end of the bat, and find space in short center. Jason Nix goes out as quickly as he can and just can't come up with it. 4th hit of the afternoon for the Blue Jays.
Corbin Joseph's at second. Mustillier is at third, and that just went past the outstretched glove of Nix into shallow center field. Rasmus dancing off first. Jose Bautista takes a strike. Popped up to second, flied out to left.
This will be a good test, I think, for Jose right here. A young pitcher he doesn't know a whole lot about, with a good fastball.
Broken bat. Chopper to second. Throw on to first to get Bautista as Rasmus goes to second. Here that breaks that bat snap when he made contact.
This kid's got a good arm. It's like he throws one of those heavy baseballs. If you don't hit it squarely, you're going to feel it in your hands. And I think Jose did there if he hit it off the end of the bat.
And Joe Girardi coming out. Preston Claiborne. Well, the Yankees did bring a large contingent of pitchers, and it looks like they try to work through them all. We'll see who comes out of the bullpen. Yankees with a 3-0 lead in the sixth. Josh Spence is the new man on the mound after Claiborne comes in 2/3 of an inning and a hit.
Joe Girardi playing it like a regular season game with the left-hander Ghost coming up to the plate. He is going to go to a left-hander. 11 games with San Diego in 2012. You can see why they brought him in. A sidewinder. Slings it out of his shoulder. A little bit of a fastball and a slider. Doesn't have a big arm. A little bit more on deception and placing the baseball where you need to. So it's been a nice little test for Anthony Ghost to hang in there against the lefty.
And the regulars start to make their way. They'll do their cool down. And it's Bautista, Bonifacio, Cabrera. Thanks for joining us. Take their bats and going home.
Probably go hit a little bit more, maybe go work out just a little bit this afternoon.
Goes hitting left-handed. Facing the new man, Josh Spence, with Rasmus at second. First pitch, 80 miles an hour, 4 strike.
Anthony Ghost has had a very good spring. The more he plays, the more he becomes acclimated with the big leagues. His swing is really starting to look good.
The way that delivery comes to, it just sweeps across the plate,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
And like I said, this is going to be a really good test for Ghost to hang in there against the left-hander.
Faced an 80-mile-an-hour pitch and then a 71-mile-an-hour pitch. The 0-2. Spence reaches up, makes the play, and ends the sixth inning. 6 innings complete. 3-0 Yankees. Jamie Campbell, Dirk Hayhurst are up next when we come back to Florida.
Back in Dunedin on a beautiful afternoon, Ramon Ortiz, the veteran, has taken over on the mound for the Blue Jays. 3-0 for the Yankees right now. 5 hits for the Yankees, 4 for the Blue Jays. They have yet to score. With Dirk Hayhurst to talk about Jay Happ, who went 3 1/3. He was scheduled to go 4, didn't give up a run. What did you think of his outing?
I really liked it. What I specifically liked about Happ's outing is that he established his own strike zone. And what I mean by that is that he found a location that he likes a lot. He got that sinker working early, and then he pounded it, and once he had the batters looking there, he felt free to expand in any which way he chose. He has a really good feel for the disparity between his pitches, meaning that when he throws his fastball up, he knows his curveball will break off that plane. When he works his fastball away, he knows that he can come back in when the hitter is looking outside. So a good advanced feel. You saw him working it well. I really liked what he did today.
Jason Nix comes to the plate for the Yankees to face Ortiz. We got to look at Brett Cecil, who unfortunately had to deal with an error at short by Mike McCoy that probably would have been a double play, so he ended up giving up some runs. Still, it's hard to pinpoint where his role is going to be with this team, if it's going to be with this team, because you've been so impressed with what Jeremy Jeffress has done so far this spring.
Well, if you're comparing Brett Cecil to Jeremy Jeffress,
which I'm not,
but that's a hard comparison, and really that's what the management is doing right now. They're comparing arms to arms, and there's apples to oranges comparison. If you're going to compare Brett Cecil to Jeremy Jeffress, you've got a 98-mile-an-hour fastball throwing machine and a right arm format for Jeremy Jeffress versus that versatility from the left side for Brett Cecil. So Brett Cecil could be the long man, and when that doesn't work well, he can always slide into that lefty specialist, which is something Jeremy Jeffress can't do, even though if you want a punch out, I would pick Jeffress on the mound.
Because Cecil was very good against lefties last year, and John Gibbons said you cannot underestimate the value of a long man, even though they've got a staff now that could go deep into ball games. Adam Lind is an interesting situation, and luckily that bat's nowhere near where we're standing, because this is a bit of a dangerous area down here by the third baseline. But Adam Lind is in an interesting situation where he's got to produce, and so far the numbers show that he has, but he hasn't seen a huge diet of left-handed pitching.
Well, what management is doing right now is kind of weaning Adam Lind back onto the left-handed pitching. Adam Lind knows what he has to do. His work is cut out for him, but he's risen to the occasion so far this spring. He's hit well against both righties and lefties, but Adam Lind, does he have to mash lefties? No, but he does have to make productive outs. You see him walking more. He's putting the ball in play. He's getting the sacrifices when he needs them, and that's what you want from a left-handed guy. You know, you don't always have to handle your weaknesses and turn them into strengths, but if you can at least hold your own, and that's what Adam Lind is doing as he continues to mash right-handed pitching.
And Pat and Rob, still lots of time. Opening day is 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, lots of time to make some decisions. Ramon Ortiz, as Jamie mentioned, on the hill. 2 quick outs. Ground ball now. This goes to LaRoche. Up with it. Makes the play to Jimenez. And that is all. A 3-up, 3-down effort for Ortiz. But the Yankees still lead 3-0. A busy April for the Blue Jays. Cleveland opens things up April 2nd through the 4th, the return of John Farrell. April 5th through the 7th when the Red Sox visit. Chicago White Sox come to town April 15th through the 18th. And the New York Yankees, April 19th through the 21st. They'll see the Yankees a lot in the early part of the season. Ticket information, 416-341-1234. You can go to Rogers Plus locations or check into BlueJays.com for tickets for the Blue Jays in April.
Chance to get off to a good start. Indians have made a lot of changes, but I don't know if they'd be the favorite for the American League Central. The Red Sox were dead last year. So a chance for the Jays to get off to a good start. Line up their pitchers.
Luis Jimenez is going to start things for the Blue Jays. He took over at first base from Adam Lind, and he's facing Josh Spence, who came in relief. Big sweeping side armor. Ball and a strike. Hitting 190 this spring is Jimenez. 4 hits and 21 at-bats.
He doesn't get cheated when he's at the plate. Big man, when he can connect, he can hit it a long way.
Big fly ball. Left center field. Back go the outfielders and calling for it and making the out right at the track. That got just a little bit dangerous for a moment, as you could see the two outfielders charging to one another, but it was Slade Heathcott who makes the play.
Yeah, he's one of their top prospects in the minor leagues. He got a lot of speed. First of all, Jimenez sends the ball to left field. Remember, that's right into a stiff wind in left center field. Thinks he has extra bases, but Slade Heathcott with a lot of speed runs it down and makes it look easy on the warning track in left center field. Nice play.
And there will be a pitching change as Spence is done. We'll come back with more from Florida. Number 94. I'm sure you have him in your program. Mark Montgomery facing Andy LaRoche. Inside to begin as he takes over from Josh Spence. Spence, well, he had a very snappy 2/3 of an inning of work. Last out in the 6th, first out in the 7th. Well, and this is very snappy work right now for Montgomery, being called off by Flores, now in right field for the Yankees.
Blue Jays spring training on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MLB 13 The Show. Only on PS3 and Vita. Available in stores now.
Now, last weekend, I don't think we would have had any of these visuals. Do you think? On the beach?
They would have been wearing fur coats.
We got peaked at 53 degrees last Sunday when we were here. Completely different here. Day started was 22 Celsius. They were expecting 80 degrees Fahrenheit when it was all said and done. The wind blowing in, so quite a pleasant day to be at the ballpark. Pat Tabler, Arash Badani, stats man, and Sportsnet.ca columnist Scott Carson. I'm Rob Faulds in for Buck Martinez. Also pleased to have on hand Jamie Campbell, Dirk Hayhurst. I know that Stephen Brunt made an appearance in the pregame show.
Jack Morris is in the house, too.
Did I mention, did I leave anybody out? Anybody? Hands up. Nikias hits this one in the left field. He's got a base hit.
Good approach right there by Mike Nikias against a hard-throwing right-hander. Went down there and got that one. Fastball down low. Good piece of hit right there. Watch where this pitch is, and he goes down, keeps the head down. And a sharp single in the left field.
And Lance Zawatsky now, who hit a grand slam.
Opened some eyes with that grand slam you were just talking about in Detroit. And there's Jack working with Jerry this afternoon.
Be Jerry's birthday on Tuesday. We're going to rush out. We all get a card, sign it. Scott Carson celebrating a birthday last week. 550 years of age, according to his granddaughter.
Or 14.
Or 14 by his other. But he is aging well. And of course, Scott, you can check in on Sportsnet.ca keeps you up to date there with a column. And of course, keeps everybody on a straight and narrow in the booth for 162 games on Sportsnet. Not sneaking away from first is Nikias. That got away from Romine. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Yankees. It was a bases clearing double coming in the 5th inning off the bat of Juan Rivera. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. That one sailed away, and I thought he had it. Nope.
Austin Romine, who is behind the plate now for the Yankees, one of their top prospects. Catching prospect. Took his eyes off of that one.
Free pass for Zawatsky. Now the Blue Jays have a little something going with 2 out in the 7th inning. And they're making a pitching change. Joe Girardi brought him on the bus. They're all getting a chance to play. So another pitching change as Montgomery does his work for the day. And the Yanks on top 3-0. Next spring telecast, the Atlanta Braves visit the Blue Jays in Dunedin, March 23rd. You can see it on Sportsnet 1, Ontario West and Pacific, 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. A little look at the Braves coming in from Orlando.
That'll be getting close towards the end of spring training, where teams will have their rosters almost finalized, and they'll be playing for keeps that last week or so. Regulars will go a little bit longer. The starters will go a little bit longer. They'll start shaping the bullpen, and they'll start sliding them into the roles that they will have once the regular season starts. I think the Atlanta Braves are going to be good this year.
Fielder, number 17, Ryan Langerhans.
Number 96 now on the mound, Vidal Nuno. Ryan Langerhans will get his first trip to the plate. Well, I think you guys made an interesting comment during the break. Both Scott Carson and Pat Tabler said Joe Girardi's trying to win this game. He's making the matchups. He's going to his bullpen, using all the guys he brought on the bus.
Yeah, matching up lefty versus lefty, righty versus righty.
Blue Jays have 2 on. Nikias is at second. Zawadski's at first after a single and then a walk. 2 fly ball outs. It's the third pitcher in this inning for the Yankees. Started with Spence, then Montgomery, now Nuno.
He brought plenty of pitchers.
I was surprised when I saw the list and how many that the Yankees brought with them, and then the schedule that John Gibbons had for the Blue Jays. Ground ball to second, up with it quickly, throw to first, and that ends the Blue Jays' threat in the 7th. They leave 2 aboard after 7 complete. The Yankees lead 3-0. Welcome back to Dunedin, Florida. Spring baseball. The Yankees leading the Blue Jays 3-0. Pleased to have joining us now down the first base side, the manager, John Gibbons. John, here we are. We're a month from since pitchers and catchers reported. Is everything going to plan for you?
Yeah, Rob, I think so. It's been a pretty clean camp for the most part. Really no injuries. A lot of guys are gone to the WBC, of course, but if I was to grade it, I think it's gone very well.
What, from here to opening day, what's your biggest job you're worried about right now?
Well, Tabby, all we're really we're trying to decide on that long reliever, middle guy, and then decide what we're going to do at second base with either as Turris or Bonifacio, if we're going to go with one as the everyday guy, or we're just going to split time with those guys. So, but the big thing, in the bullpen, that could also change, depending on Jansen and if he's ready to go opening day, we'll be in good shape. If not, we'll just add another guy down there. So, but it's nothing major, really, but a couple question marks still to be answered.
Well, last week we were talking about the errors by Bonifacio. Today we can talk about 2 fabulous plays that he's made. That was a very good play there by Negrich as he gets the first out in this inning. And Bonifacio looks like he's getting more comfortable there.
Yeah, I think so. You know, his errors were coming early on when he was playing shortstop. We decided let's just leave him at second base because that's the spot he's comfortable with, and that's what he's competing for. And he's settled in. He's been played very well over there. Made a lot of he's got great range, so he can hit this hole over here and take away hits. You know, at the big league level, you got to make the routine play, but you still have to take away some hits. So he's very athletic. You saw that on that leap on that play he made today. So he's doing very well. You know, so far the camp's going good. You know, a couple decisions to make, but it shouldn't be too long before we decide on those.
Take me a week from now when everybody's back from the WBC. What do you want to see? What do you want to try to accomplish? Is it important that Reyes and Bonifacio play together in the middle of the diamond a little bit longer in the games?
Oh yeah, that's big. I mean, because we got to tighten up that combination out there because that'll be our go-to guys. And, you know, it'll be good to get Dickey back, and then we got to decide on who's going to be the backup, whether Aaron Seaby will catch him or either Blanco or Tolley. So, but, you know, I think just getting them all back and get them on the field together for a good week, 10 days, whatever it might be, is going to be huge for us because then we get to see them all playing together.
Then what is the situation with Brett Laurie? I know that he's disappointed not able to play in the WBC, but are you erring on the side of caution there?
Yeah, we have to. You know, that's one of those injuries. If you come back too soon, they can really flare up on you and cause you a lot of problems. Be a long-term thing. So, you know, from talking to him the other day, though, he tells me he doesn't think it's a major thing, but it'll be a couple weeks before we really get him doing anything. So, but he's coming back tomorrow. Our doctors will check him out, and we'll kind of go from there.
What did you see from Jay Happ this afternoon?
Tabby, I thought he looked very well. You know, did a nice job. You know, that one time he got in trouble. You know, he had a couple guys on, but I thought the umpire missed it, squeezed him on one pitch. But, you know, the guy can pitch. He's got a sneaky fastball, and he's got a nice little breaking ball working. So he's determined. He's on a mission. He wants to be in the starting rotation. It's probably not going to work out that way for him right now, but, you know, over the course of a season, you're going to need those guys.
Slade Heathcott, the batter right now, man on as Johnson walks. With John Gibbons, the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, my question is, and we started with the start of the broadcast, is Adam Lind is having a great spring.
Yeah, he really is. You know, he's on a mission too. He's on the last year of his contract. You know, he's had a couple tough years. You know, especially hitting left-handed. So our big decision on him is whether we're going to go to a platoon or let him face the righties and lefties. But he's having a tremendous camp. He's really focused. But, you know, Lindy's a good hitter. He's always has been. You know, he hit a little rut the last couple of years. He's still been productive, but he had a couple of those big years, and I think everybody's expecting that. And he cooled off a little bit. But you know, if he's having a big year, anchoring, you know, in that 5-6 spot, we're that much better off.
How important is his bat from the left side when you make out a lineup and you're trying to balance it with all the other right-handers you have?
Oh yeah, he's you know, the thing about Lindy, you know, he can still strike a lot of fear in you. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And, you know, but the big thing is, if he struggles against lefty, we may be better off, you know, going with right-hander there and give us a little more strength there. But from the looks of it right now, he's swinging good against both of them. And the key for him, though. And I knew Lindy as a young kid when he first came up, he'd use the whole field. I mean, he could hit home runs the opposite way just as easy as he could pulling them. And I think he kind of got away from that. But this spring, he's really focusing on that. He's driven a lot of balls in that left center field gap, and that's the key for him. If he does that, you know, he'll hit the lefties.
Now, you know, there's all this talk. Oh, they got him. Just leading a little too much, and the Jays pick him off. John, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you more as the preseason continues.
Thanks, guys.
John Gibbons, manager, and a quick turn. Very nicely done by Ortiz. And that ends the Yankees 8. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. I think he's got a bite there. And the Pelican there is, I think, nice to have somebody there to verify. Yeah, I think you got something. And I'm hungry. With Pat Tabler, Rash Madani, and Rob Folds filling in for Buck Martinez. Into the 8th inning, Jim Negrich getting an at-bat against Vidal Nuno. And this one flies away foul down the left side. Well, the 3 runs by the Yankees came in the 5th. Bases clearing double from Juan Rivera. After a walk, an error, and then another walk, loaded up the bases. The Yankees 3-11 this spring. 2-4 on the road. They have just managed 1 win in their own park. This one foul again down the left side. That's very close to where Jamie and Dirk were doing the pregame show. I think they're okay, though.
I'm sure they're undercover.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hiding inside the batting cage that is down the left field line. No, I see it. They're on their set.
And I think Stephen Brunt was willing to throw himself in front of the baseball if need be. In fact, Stephen Brunt down here to get ready for a little work with Primetime Sports. Bob McCown, Damian Cox for the next 2 weeks. This one high fly ball coming in. Flores to make the out. Coming up after the game, it is connected, and they will have a terrific look at the day in sports. Set you up for the World Baseball Classic as Canada plays the United States. Connected on East Ontario, West and Pacific.
But you just knew that game was going to come down to meaning something. When you looked at the schedule and they were then scheduled to face each other that 3rd game, you just knew it, didn't you?
And you hoped that was going to be the case. And it's like the perfect storm. Everything coming that way. You've got to win it to stick around and play a little more. And I guess the crowds have been terrific in Phoenix. And, of course, the little get-together between Canada and Mexico got lots of attention around the world. In fact, I believe Don Cherry mentioned it last night in the hockey game, too. Very proud of the Canadians.
Yeah.
2 balls, 1 strike. Rasmus, 1 for 3 this afternoon as the designated hitter.
You know, I didn't like to see that, there was a fight or a guy got hit, and then, it went a little bit extreme. But I guess you can tell that there's some passion.
Yeah. Renee Tassoni and Jay Johnson were singled out by Grapes, too. Tassoni says, that's something you won't forget, getting a high five, a big thumbs up from Grapes. Big cut by Rasmus, and then he took another look. And he goes down swinging.
Timing just not there right now for Colby Rasmus. A hard slider. And he misses it. I've been impressed with the young arms that the Yankees have run out here this afternoon. Kids from their farm system. We're talking A-ball and AA. They all have poise. They all seem to have very good arms, good stuff. Joe Girardi getting a first-hand look at some of the young arms in their farm system.
Ryan Schimpf now, as he faces Vidal Nuno.
And, we were kind of joking about, all the pitching changes and everything like that. Well, part of the job of a manager, especially in spring training, with young guys, is put them in position to succeed. And that's exactly what he has done this afternoon. Joe Girardi matching up his lefties and righties and putting them in good spot.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Schimpf. Big swing, and he goes down. Second strikeout for Nuno, and that is a 1-2-3-8 for the Blue Jays. Yankees leading 3-0. A look at the numbers for the Jays' new pitcher from AA and AAA, Tyson Brummett, here in the 9th inning.
There's numbers. Good ERA, 3.20, tall guy. As he comes in, he's got a fastball, a little bit of a curveball. There's numbers in the minor leagues last season. I do not have any stats for him this spring. So he gets a chance to pitch for the Blue Jays.
Let's join Arash Madani as we were talking about pitching.
Yeah, Rob, you and Pat were talking about the closer situation, the health of Santos and Jansen. Santos did throw that side today. The plan for him next is to pitch in a minor league game Wednesday. John Gibbons said they wanted to keep the pitch count in the low 20s there. Meanwhile, with Jansen, he fired 25 fastballs in the pen yesterday in his side. He told me this morning he feels no pain, no soreness. He feels good. There have been no setbacks yet in his recovery from that surgery November 16th, and he said, I'm progressively getting more aggressive with my stuff, but there's no timetable. What's next? Well, it's all written in pencil for now.
Zoilo Almonte, who took over in right field.
I was talking to John Gibbons this morning about that as we watched Santos and Casey Jansen throwing before practice, and I asked him, how's it looking? He goes, if they're equal at the end of spring training, it's Casey Jansen's job to be the closer. I mean, from what he did last year, and that's what Gibby has to go on. But there's still question marks the last 3 weeks of spring training. Will they be able to build up strong enough? Will they stay healthy? Because that is a vital, vital role, the 8th and 9th inning of a game. You could really deflate a team if you don't have stoppers at the end of your bullpen.
I'll just correct this. Almonte came in to play left field. Flores in right, and he gets under this into shallow center field. Swinging in was Ghosts, and he'll make the play just in front of Schimpf. Coming up at the top of the clock, it is a World Baseball Classic, and it will determine an awful lot this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time as Jamison Taillon faces Derek Holland of the United States. Win and you move on. The loser will, well, they'll disassemble and head back to their teams and start to get back in their mindset back on Major League Baseball.
And if there's one thing about that, Blue Jays are going to be getting somebody back from the WBC one way or another.
Corbin Joseph. Well, they could get Dickey back and J.P. Arancibia on the U.S. side. 1-1. Corbin Joseph sends it foul down the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and ooh, the crowd wanted the punch out. You did too. I think you were looking, going, "Well, that's a good pitch." 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good looking breaking ball there. Freezes the batter right over the top. Curveball called a little bit high by the home plate umpire.
Brummett now with full count, 1 out, top of the 9th. New York leading 3-0, 3 runs in the 5th inning. And that one skips up there. Walk. Well, we were talking about the Yankees and seeing some of these young players, and one of the reasons is the Yankees are starting to show their age as you take a look at the numbers next to these names.
Major. Mariano Rivera's been doing it forever. 43 years old. Andy Pettit, 40. You know, and it's not just the pitchers. They've got some everyday players that are really getting up there in age, and the production is starting to fall off for some of them.
And it's that combination, not only age, but you're starting to see health. Alex Rodriguez won't be back until about the All-Star break. Derek Jeter just made his first appearance in a spring game yesterday. Mariano Rivera just yesterday. So the age and the fact that it takes a little while longer to recover from any bumps and bruises or sore arms.
It has been a long time, and people have been saying this about the Yankees for years. Oh, they're getting old, or the Yankees, the demise is going to happen because they're getting old. It's been a nice run for them, and they keep proving them wrong year after year after year.
Yeah, last year they were supposed to be too old really to compete, right?
Yeah, well, and the injuries too. Yeah. Last year, Rivera and A-Rod just wasn't right at all last year, but they just keep coming up with ways. You know what it is? They've got a good pitching staff. They've got a very deep bullpen, and they know how to win.
Big cut by Ramon Flores on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Brummett. Happ started. Jay Happ went 3 1/3. Brett Cecil an inning and a third. Alex Hinshaw also had an inning and a third of work. Ramon Ortiz went 2 innings. Brummett, the big beard and the hair flowing, strikes out Flores. 2 out.
Everybody has a chance. That one looked like it went down. Looked like it might have been an off-speed pitch. Picks up the strikeout. Maybe a 2-seamer. Everybody has a chance in spring training. You just don't know what was going to happen as they come in the last couple of weeks. Injuries. They need the depth.
Blue Jays pitchers have struck out 8 on the afternoon. Addison Maruzak hit 276 with Trenton in Double-A. This one going into the gap, diving and making the play is Anthony Ghosts to end the inning. Put a little star next to Ghosts as he steals a base hit away, belly down onto the grass. But going to the bottom of the 9th, it's the Yankees on top.
Well, it won't get any better than this one right here as he lays out and saves a run for the Blue Jays. Anthony Ghosts flashing some leather in center field.
So Ghosts takes that one away, and it's the Yankees leading 3-0 to the bottom of the 9th. We go. What else would you rather have? The guy who makes a brilliant defensive play first at the plate. Anthony Gose got a terrific hand from the crowd here at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium, just to continue the nice hand he got on that terrific defensive play.
He's got tools, baseball tools. He can run, he can throw, he can play defense. He's got outstanding speed. And his game just needs a little bit more polish, and polish up the bunt for a base hit. That's going to be a weapon for him, I think, as he gets a little bit older. Polish up not striking out so much, understanding the strike zone a little bit more, cutting down your swing.
And going the other way. Opposite field base hit. Lead off the ninth. Jays trail by 3.
I was talking to Tim Raines the other day. Tim Raines working in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays now as an outfield instructor and base runner. And I asked him about Anthony Gose, and his eyes lit up. He was excited. He said, this guy's got a lot of talent. He's going to be a big leaguer real soon.
Luis Jimenez now getting his second at bat. He flied out to lead off the 7th. Man on. Takes a strike. That's snapped in, 87 miles an hour. Blue Jays have an off day tomorrow, and then they play in Fort Myers on Tuesday. Justin Germano will get the ball for the Blue Jays, and Clay Buchholz goes for the Red Sox. Oh, holds up, and therefore strike 2. Full house here at the ballpark to watch the Yankees and the Blue Jays. 5,559. Third sellout of the spring. Enjoyed the sunshine. Yankees always draw a big crowd. 1-2. And go the other way, foul the way.
Yeah, even when they don't bring their big stars over. Robbie Cano, Derek Jeter. Still draw.
Could have brought the infirmary. The Hall of Fame infirmary. It's not the fans who are seeing all the All-Stars right now for the Yankees. It's the trainers.
Yeah. You're seeing them in the training room.
Coming up in 15 minutes, Canada and the U.S., the World Baseball Classic. Oh, inside, and Patillo's been calling those, and that one that's Jimenez have. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two, chops it down, keeps the at bat alive. The 2-2. Driven straightaway center field, now shading to his right, making the play. Heathcote. That is the first out of the 9th inning. 2 fly ball outs to center field for Jimenez. And we've been talking about defense in the Blue Jays. We've seen some today.
Boy, we've been talking about the lack of defense from the Blue Jays, but not this afternoon. DeRosa with a fine stop. Saves a couple of runs there. There's another run that's saved by Bonifacio at second base in that last inning. Laying out, saving another run, Anthony Gose in center field. So third base, second base, center field showing some athleticism this afternoon in John Gibbons' defensive team. And they have athletes all over the diamond this year.
Andy LaRoche getting his second at bat. Flied out to right. Takes a strike. David Phelps looking very good for the Yankees in his 5 innings of work. No runs, 3 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. Driven into center field. That's a base hit. 2 on, 1 out.
You know, 2 young starters for the Blue Jays. You mentioned Phelps. Ivan Nova's had a great camp so far for the Yankees, and he looks good as he is battling for that 5th spot. LaRoche with a solid single to center field and brings the tying run to the plate. Blue Jays bats have been silenced this afternoon. They now have actually out-hit the Yankees over the last couple of innings.
Haven't been able to do much with runners aboard, or just difficult to get a runner aboard to do anything. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Yankees. No runs, 7 hits, and an error for Toronto. Oh for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays on the day. 1 out, 2 on. Takes inside, 2 balls and a strike. Coming up at the top of the hour, Canada and the United States World Baseball Classic. Winner continues. The loser takes home memories and team paraphernalia. The 2-1. Off-speed pitch for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Nikias singled, sends that one foul and towards the Yankees dugout on the third base side.
Just keep the line moving. Down by 3 runs. Battling at bat. Blue Jays lost a tough game earlier this week on a walk-off 3-run home run. Some wild finishes in spring training.
2-2. High, now into foul territory. Having trouble tracking it, finally tracking down Muselier. That's the second out.
The wind has been havoc for all the players all afternoon. That one was not an easy play.
Lance Zawadski now, as you said, trying to keep the line moving. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 9th. Yankees leading 3-0 in Dunedin. Trying to get their 4th win of the spring, the Yanks. Blue Jays 7 wins, 7 losses, and a tie, with an off day tomorrow. Very quickly, 2 balls, no strikes. Zawadski, we know he can take the ball out. You saw that in the first spring game against the Tigers.
Look for that one pitch.
And there's the pitch, popped it up. What's the wind going to do with it? Calling for it and making the play. The Yankees will win 3-0 in Dunedin. Connected is up next, and in the World Baseball Classic for Raj Madani, Pat Tabler, Jamie Campbell, Dirk Hayhurst, and Stephen Brunt, and the entire Sportsnet crew. I'm Rob Faulds. Take care, everybody.